And here we have, making his way to the cage, Joel Barrientos, representing Urban Jungle. I spoke to young Joel Barrientos in the back prior to the fights. 18 years of age, lived in El Salvador for 4 years. Lived in El Salvador prior to moving here to Houston. Has lived in Houston for the past 4 years. And in that 4 years, he was a wrestler on his high school wrestling team. Transitioning now into MMA and looking to have a successful mixed martial arts debut here tonight against the double tough Arlton Ardrey. He's got a very experienced corner working with him, so he's in good hands. He was very relaxed in the back when I was talking to him. Looked very confident. And you can feel the difference in the vibe of some of the fighters. I mean, we saw one of the fighters earlier tonight. I mean, he obviously looked very nervous. He didn't look at ease in there in the first round. Can't say the same for Joel Barrientos. I see a very confident young individual looking to prove himself here. And there we see him stepping into the cage, looking ready for action. And unfortunately, our camera is showing a great shot of the guy on his phone.
Uh-oh. Where's the cameraman?
And there you see it. The man, Arlton Ardrey, making his way to the cage. 5'9", 1-0 in mixed martial arts. That fight was in KO victory over Andrew Flores. Seeing if he can make it 2-0 tonight with a victory over Barrientos. Arlton Ardrey representing ACS. See Drew Radicek in his corner.
And his teammate, Alvarado Hurtado, who also won tonight. Got a lot of momentum coming in the cage. Got the team out there. It's always good when the team's out there behind you, man. You got the momentum with the win.
Exactly. Whenever you have your teammates also on the same card and they're just coming off of a fresh victory, it gives you that extra
energy,
motivation.
Man.
You don't want to be the one that loses that night, you know?
Yeah. And the team on the win streak.
Yeah. So both teams with experienced corners. We got Urban Jungle taking on ACS. The showdown of these two lightweights. Man, they both look fit. They both look hungry. This should be a great fight. I don't know much about Ardrey. I gotta have to show a little bit of bias towards the wrestler in Barrientos. Simply on that fact alone that he told me he used to be a wrestler.
Yeah, Barrientos, he looks a lot like, I think his name is Jose San Ibantes. He's an old 4-ounce fighter. He's an old school guy, a little about my age.
Oh, Jose San, you're talking about Daniel Pineda's stepbrother.
There you go.
Pineda's here tonight.
Like, we saw Pineda. This guy looks like Jose. Like, he really does. Like, I looked over there at him, double take.
Arlton Ardrey stepping in the cage. You know what? He might be a wrestler himself. We'll see.
Arlton looks like he's a Marine or something. Got that high cut, top, what do they call it? High and tight.
High and tight.
Both these kids look in great shape. Should be a good fight.
Referee Joe Solis calling this action. Joel Barrientos, Arlton Ardrey. And this fight is officially underway. Two young hungry studs looking to throw down. Oh, big takedown right off the bat there by Ardrey.
Barrientos doing a really good job of defending. That was a great job of defending.
Oh, had his head tied up there for a second. Man, explosive start.
Yeah, a lot of energy here. Digging into the body. Oh.
Big throw there by Barrientos into the cage. Ardrey with a good base, though, tries to come back up. Oh, shoot, man, I must have been wrong. Both of these guys are wrestlers. Yeah. Ardrey now with the head and arm. Can he throw him? Good base.
This is a great start.
Explosive matchup. Two young studs.
Now, Barrientos looked like he has a stronger hips, man. Definitely lower center of gravity when he was able to stop that takedown. That was nice.
Yeah, and right now he's in the double underhook position. He's in the really good spot for control.
Drive the knee up in the middle there. Oh, he's trying to whiz him up. Ooh,
man, these two are just good scramble. Barrientos ends up on top in that scramble. Inside control position. His head's caught. Ardrey has got to be careful for a Von Flue choke attempt. He's got his arm stuck. I don't think Barrientos is going for it, though. He's looking for the space. Looking to come around.
Still holding on to the head to get out. It's a nice way to swing out the back door.
Woo! We got Ardrey now.
These guys are going back and forth, man. It's like a Tasmanian devil when they fights and you just see the dust of cloud and arms and feet. These guys are scrambling really, really good.
Yeah, like really like no solid control in position. This position fight.
It's been all high-level scrambling, man. Oh, nice knee there.
And now we see Ardrey with the double underhooks into the trip.
Nice takedown there.
Nice take into sliding the knee across into a mount position. And now we're settling into a dominant position from one of these fighters.
Barrientos hanging on to him. They're going to let him have that space, come down with some punches. Slice the knee through the arm. That was a real nice move there.
I think Barrientos might try to bump out into the back door, and he does.
Escape.
Oh man! I saw Ardrey, his head kind of got driven to the floor there in that drive.
Scrabbling on this, the scrambling right now is beautiful, man. These guys are really going at it.
I would hate to have to go one-on-one with either of these two bulls.
I hate to be the judge right now, too.
Yeah, this is a tough one to call.
It really is. Barrientos trying to finish the single leg there.
I mean, that mount position alone could score big for Ardrey.
Yep, it could.
It probably could win him the round if we're close to the finish. Oh, my, that was nice right there. Lifted them, trying to put him into the hooks. But Barrientos rolls out of it.
Corner instructing him to open up with some shots there. Drew giving him some great coaching experience, not just to win the grappling position, but to start opening up with some shots. You know, this is a fight now.
And right there we saw Ardrey right there with a mean crossface was trying to open up the chin for a rear naked choke. Yeah. Didn't quite get it, and Barrientos is focusing now on the single leg.
Yeah.
Puts Ardrey onto his seat. And we're going to end the round with that.
Still punching. We might see Ardrey will steal that round away with some of those shots he's landing.
And you know what? For that opening round, that was so much action. That I mean, they just flew by.
That was a great round, man.
Was not expecting the bell whenever it did come.
A lot of energy. They both, you know, back and forth momentum.
Yeah, hard round to score. If I had to score, I would give a slight edge to Ardrey for that mounted position that he had, and then just kind of finishing the round with a little bit more control. As far as damage, you know, both fighters is just
pretty even. Well, Barrientos did land. I think it was two real big knees. I mean, you can count those in there. But the positions that Ardrey had was a little more dominant. That mount position could have stolen the round.
You got to wonder what are the corners telling their fighters. I mean, both fighters, sometimes they wrestle to sometimes to a stalemate, and then sometimes it's just like no control in the scrambling. So
it's a great matchup, man. Very evenly matched.
Round 2 underway in this explosive matchup between Joel Barrientos and Arlton Ardrey in the lightweight showdown.
Barrientos hanging on to the head there. Barrientos trying to open up. Ardrey coming in for some takedowns. Nice kick, right hand. Oh.
Both these fighters swinging away. Ardrey being stubborn for the takedown, just going for it. Now with the guillotine attempt, but ends up giving up position.
Barrientos kind of bulling his way into the cage. Trying to take his back now.
Now we see Barrientos. Oh, Granby roll there by Ardrey.
Kind of hung up there in a neutral position.
Crucifix. I'm not sure if you can do neck cranks in
amateur. I don't think they can.
And so right now he's not going for that attempt, but he's just using it more for control, so the referee let it go. Scrambling into position. We see Ardrey ending up with the better position of the two.
Yeah, Barrientos used a lot of energy to try to hit him over there. You can hear the grunt out, and ended up on his back. It's like, shit, man, all that for nothing.
Yeah, he was going for it.
Yeah.
Two strong grapplers here.
It was a great, high-level grappling for an amateur fight. Very high level.
Just like in one of our previous fights, we got two young fighters early in their career taking on each other early, where there's a good potential for both of them to be very successful in this business and then look back and be like, man, I can't believe we took each other on so early.
Right.
22 years old versus 18 years old.
When you see that kind of development young, I think that's also a great reflection of the coaches and the team that's behind them.
One thing I don't like to see here is Barrientos keeping that open guard.
Tried to sweep him over there. He ended up giving up his back.
Seeing if he can backdoor again or transition that into a single leg. Seeing if he can put Ardrey onto his seat again. See if he could transition to a double leg, Barrientos, but Ardrey doing an excellent job in defending there. Right there with the gut wrench.
Oh, Barrientos picked him up. That's a lot of energy there, man. He didn't get, there he goes.
And Ardrey now with the arm-in guillotine, and he's got the legs over. He's in a good position where he could finish it.
Looks like he might have it, man. It's pretty tight in there.
He's got the arms locked up with his legs. This is a unique guillotine position, and Barrientos slips out, but now he has to deal with the triangle attempt. So he went from one bad spot into another. Can he get out of this? Right now, Ardrey's too crowded to the cage to do much with it, but he does a beautiful bump over with that position. Nice.
High-level grappling move there, man, using the hips to bump him over.
I always tell my students, if you don't get the submission, try to get a sweep out of that, and that's exactly what Ardrey did. Very impressed with this young man's grappling ability, and he finishes strong, raining some punches.
Looks like it might be 2 rounds to none. But yeah, that hip and over, that was a very good high-level move. I mean, I remember having that done to me by black and brown belts when I was starting to grapple, so.
If you had to do a coin toss from round 1, I think round 2 was an obvious Arlton Ardrey round. Could easily be 2-0 or 1-1, depending on how you see it. Me personally, I think Ardrey's going into the 3rd round, 2 rounds to none.
Yeah. I definitely give him that last round, obviously a very dominant round. First one, he got a slight edge on it, however you look at it. But he definitely won that second one, no question about it. And I wonder what the coaches in Barrientos' corner are telling him, they might be telling him, you're down 2 rounds. Got to really try to close the show this round.
Yeah, at this point, both of their grappling is so even that I would try to instruct Barrientos, say, hey, man, just swing for the fences right now because the grappling is going to stalemate.
It's kind of negating it. There you go. That's the word I was trying to use. Trying to sound intelligent here.
Negate, brother.
There you go.
I'm proud of you.
I got a GD. But it actually, in the beginning of the second round, it really looked like Barrientos was trying to swing and open up. But then Ardrey engages in the grappling, and then it becomes a grappling match. But from the beginning of the first 10, 20 seconds of the second round, Barrientos was throwing heat. Let's see if he does it again.
3rd and final round between these two young lions. Can the 18-year-old Barrientos make a dramatic comeback victory? Or can Ardrey close the show? Looked like he
trying to engage the grappling again there, Ardrey.
Nice drive there by Ardrey. Add a little bit extra at the end. Leading with the head. I like that. Force your opponent to have to get out of your way.
He's really going for that takedown. Really trying to get Barrientos back on the ground. I think that's where he felt he was winning the fight. And he had some pretty close position, dominant positions, enough to win the round,
I'm very impressed with Ardrey. Very insistent on sticking with some of the grappling. You don't see that too often these days, guys pushing so hard for the takedown. Oh, now that was one hell of a sprawl there by Barrientos. That's exactly where you don't want to be if you're Ardrey, is flat out when somebody sprawled on your back like that.
And now I had to maybe lose confidence a little bit. He missed the shot. He's got to be a little maybe frustration setting in, but it doesn't appear to be because he's catching his breath on the cage here. See, Barrientos looks like he's trying to go for the takedown now.
I mean, yeah, they're not slowing down. They're not trying to rest here.
Yeah, that's a great pace for these two guys.
Underhook trying to rip him over here there by Ardrey. Barrientos sticking with that double leg position, seeing if he can get something out of it. Uppercut into.
Barrientos is trying to take his head off there. Oh,
Barrientos by Barrientos.
Barrientos got him hurt.
I'm thinking we're seeing Ardrey's looking a little worse for the wear.
Yeah, Barrientos is trying to take his head off.
Front headlock position, turning into a guillotine. Now he forces Ardrey onto his back. Now the tide has swung. Can Barrientos score a knockout?
And he's going for broke.
He can feel that the fatigue in Ardrey.
I think that momentum is kind of riding on his side. He can feel that fatigue. He's starting to let his hands go.
They've been going at a frantic pace. It's like who can outlast the other? And right now, Barrientos looks the fresher of the two.
Oh, big right hand, big uppercut there. He's just missing these shots, man. If he had a little more, they're just missing. That knee, there goes that knee again. It hurt him in the second round with that.
This is where the takedown defense comes into factors. And this is where it becomes an advantage in having good takedown defense.
Another knee.
Guillotine attempt.
Oh!
Transitioning to a mounted guillotine. Can he finish it?
Nice guillotine toss.
And whenever you're tired, that adds some extra pressure to it.
Going for the rear naked choke. I think that one, man.
And is that a tap?
That's a tap.
That's a tap.
Oh!
18-year-old Joel Barrientos scores the submission victory.
Come back from behind, man.
Over the double tough Arlton Ardrey. That was awesome.
That was, the referee actually had to do a double take, and he was tapping as he was going over. He was tapping like, hey, get him off of me, you know? But
man,
that was probably a combination of him, desperation, trying to squeeze his head off, and also the exhaustion. You can see Aubrey's still a little winded there.
Such a beautiful story told by these two fighters. 18-year-old Joel Barrientos down 2 rounds to nothing against the super tough Arlton Ardrey. Makes a comeback.
Never quit, stayed in there and got the win.
Avoided the takedown, avoided getting ridden out for another round, and was able to score not the knockout, but the rear naked choke victory. Impressive display of heart there by Joel Barrientos. Man, he gutted that one out. And I got to give a lot of credit to Arlton Ardrey, too, man. I mean, man, both of those fighters, I'm a big fan of both of them now.
That was a great fight, yeah, great fight. A lot of fights left in these kids in their futures.
Man,
Barrientos hunching over like, shit, I'm just glad this fight's done. He's sucking win, too.
Those are the ones, I mean, those are the fights that you live for. Like, afterwards, I mean, you were so gratified.
Yeah, Barrientos looks like he's catching his composure now. He's like, oh, I just won this fight. Both men exhausted, too exhausted to celebrate, too exhausted to really get in and have a victory celebration. But man, Barrientos, that was real impressive. He stuck it out, showed a lot of heart in the fight the whole time. He was just kind of getting outworked a little bit with that comeback from behind win.
Ladies and gentlemen, game round 2 is 52 seconds into the third round. Declare your winner by submission due to a rear naked choke.
And Joel Barrientos opens up his mixed martial arts career on the right track. 1-0 with 1 stoppage. We're going to be seeing a lot more of him in the future, along with Arlton Ardrey, who drops to 1-1, but has nothing to be ashamed of in that performance.
Shout out to Alfonso Lopez on the cover.